Time to go to work.
Let go. The red pill phone tap
is back again. We're sorry, fellas, but this is going to be one of those legitimate times where we got to tell you we've really been on our purpose.
No shit.
I'm trying to get all the way to the top over here, and Anthony moved to a place that's all the way to the top of the building that he moved to. So Anthony's got a different set of scenery.
Oh, yeah.
I took up a part-time job trying to get into a fucking business school. It's been a little wild around here. But
I got pools on both sides of me, actually.
That's never a bad thing.
No. I'm perfectly placed.
I hear that swimming pools are often frequented by women in bathing suits.
Yeah, not that much clothing involved.
That's not bad at all.
No, I found my way. I found my way lost over there a few times.
Well, I got to tell you, because we've been away for so long on our purpose, I will promise our listeners, Anthony, I don't know if we've done this much show prep in quite a while. I'm pretty excited about this segment.
Yeah, man. I think anytime you have space in between things that you've been doing, you kind of
100
get better at it. You kind of see it in a different light, in a different perspective, and you kind of like want to bring more to it. So I think it's healthy.
I do too. I think once we step away from the microphone, sometimes it gives us this positive thing where all of our ideas kind of get pent up, and we need to release them through the microphone. I mean, you and I have had a lot of good phone conversations, and also there was moving day.
Oh, yeah.
So we had some good conversations there too with a mutual friend of ours named Landon. Yeah, man, I feel like I'm excited about this segment because I think we have a lot of that. Oh man, we got to get back to the mic. We got some things to say.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Tonight, everybody, we're going to be talking about. This question is a little bit of a tough love question, but we want to ask you guys and look in the mirror and ask yourself this question honestly, fellas. Are you interesting?
No. Are you?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Are you interesting? I mean, not just to your boys. I mean, does the world, people that meet you once or twice, do they walk away saying, man, that guy's interesting? That guy's got a lot of energy that just, I don't know. I can't wait till I see him next time because he's just very interesting.
Man, can I give you a real life example of what just happened?
By all means.
So I was at a bar with a coworker. This guy, he's one of those bar fly guys, the ones that goes to the bar all the time. Everybody fucking knows him because he's there every day.
Yeah.
And he's been telling me about this bar and called Crazy Frogs, saying, you need to go to this bar, Anthony. You need to do this and do that. And I'm like, I ain't really trying to fucking go to no fucking bar every fucking day. But this guy loves this bar, right? So I go, and, I kind of like take in the room. And, because me, personally, I know when I go to new places, I kind of need to assess if my safety is in danger, right? I need to make sure that I should stay or should actually not stay. And I was able to kind of take the room in and get the vibe a little bit, and I was like, okay, I can talk about, I can, as far as blend in, at least, right, as a citizen. So I go in, what I like to do in a bar is test the bartenders, test the wait staff, where their knowledge is and like their customer service are, and like then I deal with that accordingly. If you go to bars, you kind of have your own vibe and feel for what you do in bars, but I wanted to go in and see if they were friendly, Will they actually be attentive? And do they actually know what the fuck they doing when behind the bar? So I asked for several different beers if they had, and they was like, oh, we have that on bottle, we have that on tap. What I love to see is if they give me options, right? Do you like us? Do you want it bottled? Do you want it draft? Do you want a small or tall, right? I want to see if they're going to engage me in a customer service aspect to where I'm okay with patronizing that cup, and also how my tips will be going forward. I said a lot. I know I prefaced a lot, but you guys just kind of...
Oh, no. I mean, I think people like your mindset of like... Because some of our listeners probably... No bullshit. My brother was 27 years old before he thought it was cool to go to a bar by himself.
Wow.
Yeah, and I had to just tell him, I'm like, bro, you don't need to have people to go to the bar with.
No.
Like, he had some kind of weird stigma, like he felt like he was an alcoholic or something if he went to a bar by himself. I'm like, no. That's if you're at home drinking by yourself. Right. And even then, that doesn't necessarily constitute being an alcoholic. But I think for people that are not experienced, again, this whole segment's about, are you interesting?
Right.
And I was just sitting here writing a note down. What you're telling the audience, it might sound like over-explaining to people if you've been to 1,500 bars in your life.
Right.
Some people listening to this program have been to 2.
Yeah.
So I think they appreciate listening to your mindset.
Okay.
And sharing your experience of like, hey, when I go into a place, I've been to so many places. Again, are you interesting?
Uh-huh.
I mean, if this is your first time listening to the program, you don't know. Anthony was a U.S. Navy sailor. This guy was going to pubs
all over the world.
All over the world. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
So, I mean, I think for people that have been to 1,500 bars, maybe they're like, oh, goddamn it, Anthony, you're over-explaining. But for some of our people, and there are a lot of people listening to this program that kind of need to hear the behind-the-curtain,
yeah,
what is Anthony doing when he goes into a bar? I'm sorry, and I'll let you go on.
Okay, so I listen to the conversations that's being had around the bar, and a lot of times, if you've never been in a bar before, a lot of conversations are really open for everybody at the bar. That's like an unspoken rule. Like if a conversation is being had at the bar and someone finds it interesting, they'll feel free to just chime in with their own opinion.
You know the only people that don't know this rule?
Who?
What do you think I'm going to say?
People who don't go to the bars.
No. Well, hold on. Those people are also guilty, but women kind of don't know this. Nobody asked you. You'll get a lot of that. It's like, no. That's why people come to sit at a bar.
Right.
And not over at a table. If
exactly.
you want some private shit.
Right.
And again, if you're not worldly, like Anthony, it's been in the pubs all over the world, and you don't know this, now you know. But it's like if you want to have a private, if you're on a date or something, you don't take a date to the bar unless you're waiting on a table. There's a wait.
Right.
But that's kind of the unspoken rule, isn't it? We all get to talk together. We're all sitting at the same table, sort of, right?
A lot of times, this is why women that sit at the bar, they will get approached more. You don't see women sitting at tables get approached. Mm-mm. So if you're a woman at a bar, you're opening yourself to being approached by a multitude of men. Just FYI. If you don't know why you're being harassed at the bar, because you're at the fucking bar.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's almost kind of, like you said, it's almost kind of an unspoken rule. I mean, I was listening to, I think I listened to every single episode of Kevin Samuels, by the way. And if you guys aren't listening to that, you're just doing it wrong. Go check out Kevin Samuels on YouTube. I literally don't miss an episode. But he always suggests to these women to go to a steakhouse.
Yes. Upper class bar.
Yeah, upper class, and sit at the bar by yourself.
Yeah.
And put out choosing signals.
Well, it's different clientele at a steak bar, at a steakhouse bar.
Businessmen.
Yeah.
Things like that. Or what I find at steakhouses, too, business owners. Like someone that owns a plumbing company or an electrical company or a roofing company or something like that. Your blue-collar guys, that we couldn't run the fucking world without blue collar guys. But your blue collar guys that go to steakhouses tend to be like the owners of the company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But how was this bar?
It was kind of like the hole in the wall types.
Now those are hit and miss.
Yeah. So I'll say this. What I did find was that they kind of trying to fill you out as well.
Yeah.
I mean, because this thing is, it's two-way street. You know, they're trying to see if you belong, and you're trying to see if you want to stay, right? So you're both kind of eyeing each other, figuring each other out. You know, they'll ask you what you're having, and they try to gauge you. Do you like to order the same thing every time you go, or do you like to kind of spread out and try different things? I'm not in the mood of that today. Today I'm in, because if they figure you out and you come in frequently, they'll be like, "Hey, what you in the mood for today?" and put a napkin in front of you, right? Or a coaster or whatever, right? And you're just like, "Oh no, do y'all got any bar specials or a new thing or something new on the tap?" That's the guy who wants to try new shit, right?
By the way, that's very subtle. That is right, though. Now, there's a line, though. You want to try new shit. Hey, do y'all have any specials?
Right.
You know, there's a special at the Hooters near my work where you can get, I think, fucking $4 tall Shiner Blondes. And it's every Thursday. So now I'm like, well, shit, if it's a Thursday...
Yeah,
I want to take a client. Okay, cool. So, I mean, you're trying to learn about the place.
Right.
Hey, do y'all have something on tap that's a lot of places don't have? It's kind of unusual. Do you brew your own fucking beer? Well, I mean, I don't fucking know.
Right.
So you're asking questions. You're like, hey, what is the deal with this place? What makes you... You're basically like walking in going, all right, I'm Anthony. What makes y'all cool?
Exactly. They do have free pool there. That's cool.
Okay.
So free pool is cool. They don't have any bar specials. They just said that the shit is cheaper before 7. That's how I was ran down the uniqueness of what this bar brings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to, if I remember correctly, I think my beers range between $3 and $6.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad, right? So, and I've had Guinness, Miller Lite, Bud Light. I've had Rebecca Creek there, and
so you went more than once to this place.
No.
You're talking about the first time.
Yeah, I've been more than once. Yes,
but you're talking about the first time.
This was my second time actually. The first time I went, I didn't get quite a welcoming vibe, because I think I told you about this too. I sat down and people started to fucking scatter and shit. So I was like, oh, well, shit. Let me, before I order anything else, before I even order anything, let me figure out what the fuck I'm at, So, but it kind of relaxed a little bit, So the second time I kind of just wanted to sit at the bar. Sometimes you just want to sit.
And it's a convenient location.
Yeah, it's right on the way to the house. It's not far from the house. So I can have a few and still get home without worrying about trouble, right?
Right.
So I go in the second time, and what's cool there is all the bartenders will introduce themselves separately, right? They will all come and say, "Hey, I'm Stephanie. Hey, I'm Natalie," whatever. And who is taking care of you today? Okay, cool. But any of us will take care of you if you need it, right? You're on one ticket, but any of them will service you if the other one's not available. So that to me was cool.
By the way, what a basic thing, but no one does it, right?
Nobody does it.
Everybody wants a bartender to introduce themselves.
Mm-hmm.
All right, hey, I'm gonna go grab your drink, but I'm gonna be taking care of you tonight. I'm Wes.
Exactly. I want to know who the fuck. Hey, Wes. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to call your name.
Yeah.
Because if I say barkeep or bartender,
Garçon,
Garçon,
come here, boy.
I don't want to do that. I want to call you by your name. I know that you're servicing me, but I still want to respect you.
Right.
Right. So this is a long. We didn't. This is not what we were talking about, but we're going there.
I mean,
so
I trust you. I trust your story has
Okay.
something to do with our segment about being interesting. Of
yeah.
course.
So after all the introductions have been had at this particular bar, you take in the room as far as who's there, who's not, who's behind you, who's in front of you. You start listening to the conversations, because at bars people are having conversations, and
Because they've had a little bit to drink.
yeah,
They're getting way more comfortable with their surroundings.
yes, indeed.
Now that they've had a few.
and they don't mind butting in your conversation at all.
Yeah. Well, hold on. But we visited. You kind of sign up for that when you
Yes,
go
you
sit
do.
at the bar.
Yes, you do.
You can't be like, "Hey, stay out of my business."
No,
That's
no.
not what this is. You could drink beer by yourself at home.
Right. Do you remember we was at Pluckers, and we would talking sports, and this
I
guy.
know. Oh my god, this is such a bad story. Oh, now we are going off on a tangent. This guy had the worst fucking sports takes ever. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Sorry, but again, it goes to show we were at a bar.
Right.
We can't be like, "Hey, get out of this sports conversation," even though your takes are terrible.
Right.
We had to tell him to his face, "Your takes are terrible."
Yeah, man. You just
Bo
kinda
Jackson didn't go to baseball because he sucked at football. That's not what happened in the past. He wasn't hiding in baseball. The motherfucker could hit a baseball like 3 miles. That's why he went to baseball. By the way, baseball pays well too.
Exactly. Deion
Sorry.
Sanders did the same thing.
Yeah, sorry guys,
So-
we digress. But I had to get that out because that was like the worst sports take I ever heard. But anyways, I'm gathering that
so what-
someone interjects into your conversation.
Yes, they do. And I end up finding out that they were actually the same job that I was in the Navy. Had the same job that I had in the Navy. They were just on a different type of ship. And
You were on a frigate, right?
No, I was on a cruiser guided. I was on cruiser. They call it cruisers, but it was a guided missile cruiser though.
Gotcha.
We followed the carrier around.
Oh yeah, you guys were protecting the carrier because you
Yeah.
guys can move around quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we had every weapon. We had surface to surface, surface to air, and surface to water. So whatever threat we could take care of.
Oh, okay.
So we were kind of like the Swiss Army knife
Yeah.
of the ships around. The frigates are faster than we are because they're smaller, and the destroyers are a little quicker because they're smaller as well. But we have more radars. We have more abilities, technology-wise, as far as supporting the carrier itself.
And it sounds like a more deadly payload as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway,
What kind of ship was this bar patron on?
he was on an amphibious.
Oh shit.
He was on the amphibious, so they had more Marines on board.
Yeah.
Than they had sailors. So what they would do, the amphibs would either drop off Marines on the shore, and they would also support aircraft as far as like they were the store of the sea. If we needed gas, if we needed food, it would come to the amphibs, and the amphibs would meet us where we are in the ocean, and then they would transfer the supplies to us, either by helo or by, we'll attach rope to each other's and connect, and then they'll slide it over, depending on what the situation called for.
All right. So you've met a Navy brethren,
Yes.
and how does this go?
So not only was I'll tell you this, it was 4 Navy personnel at this bar. 4 Navy personnel. One got out in 1978. One got out
A year after I was born.
right. Another guy got out in the 80s, and another guy. Well, me and the younger guy got out in the 2000s, right?
I'm kind of seeing how this story is shaping up. The segment is like, fellas, are you interesting? I'm pretty sure with 4 of you there at the bar, four Navy guys, this is probably pretty fucking interesting conversation. Right?
What I'm gonna tell you is funny. It didn't come with us become like saying that we're brethren, right? Because one of the things that I brought up that I never really tell anybody, but I was like, I was on a mission and I was on watch at the time where a movie that exists actually was about a mission that I was on.
Oh, wow, really?
So I asked him, I said, what movie do you think this is based on this mission? And so, because they were Navy guys, I was like, let me tell you what happened on this mission, and you tell me what movie you think it is. And right away they knew what movie it was. So it was really cool that they automatically got it. And it was also cool that they was like, didn't see nothing to it, that it was actually a movie about a mission that was actually, I was actually a part of, right? And the movie that we were talking about was Behind Enemy Lines.
That's what I was going to assume it was, just given what I know your timeline was. Oh wait, no, that's Soul Survivor. What was Behind Enemy Lines? That was the one with Owen Wilson and Gene Hackman. Yeah,
with the pilot that went down and he was behind enemy lines and he had to get to safety.
I didn't know that was a true story.
Yes,
really,
true story. Shit. I was on watch when the pilot went down. The actual ship was not a F series actual flight. It was actually a stealth bomber.
Oh, no shit.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, a stealth bomb. Now, the reason I'm talking about this now is because it's unclassified, so it's nothing to talk about.
Well, I'm just saying, with this segment about fellas, are you interesting? If you're sitting at a bar, and again, this is where the women sit too.
Yes. And
you're hearing guys like, oh shit, this is pretty fucking interesting shit. Do you know what I like about this story too? At no time did a fucking woman have to be involved.
Zero.
In the whole story.
Zero and none.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like that did not have to happen. And I'm looking up Behind Enemy Lines because I'm. You said it was a stealth bomber.
Yes.
And I'm like, what aircraft was in it? Was it an F-14 or F-18 or F-15?
When I remember Owen Wilson flying it, it looked like a F-15 because it looked
like an F-15 to me too.
Yeah, and he was taking photos of like the genocide that was happening. Look at it.
It's an F-18.
Okay, 18. Okay, so.
You're right. This is a true goddamn. Well, I mean, of course you were right. You were fucking there. But I mean, I'm like, I had no idea this is a true story. No shit.
True fucking story. The only difference is that it was a stealth bomber. If you find the news reports afterwards, you would see that they were happy because they actually shot down a fucking stealth aircraft that was unable to be detected by radar, and they shot it down. Right. So the thing is, when these aircrafts are flying in enemy zones, these guys are just shooting. They're not actually trying to shoot it down. They're just hoping to do something. To it, because you're talking about fucking aircraft moving at over 300, 500 knots. That's crazy speed. If you're shooting at even if you see it and you try to shoot at it, you're not gonna fucking hit it because that aircraft can move and maneuver faster than you can fucking shoot at it, right?
Yeah.
Even the ones where aircrafts are shooting each other in the air, they have a hard time hitting those aircrafts, and they're right in the air next to them, and you're on the fucking ground trying to shoot it. So anytime you hit a aircraft, it was blind fucking luck, bruh. So,
really?
So the thing is, what was happening was that those guys was coming from a mission, and they was dropping payloads. And as that ship came back, they come back in a flight pattern. They have to come back in a flight pattern. If they don't follow this flight pattern, we know that they are not our aircraft.
Oh, no shit.
Yes. So they have to come in a certain flight pattern. So all of them going in that flight pattern. So guess what? They're all back to back to back to back to back to back aircraft.
Yeah.
So if you're C1 and you're shooting at that one, and another one got to come in that same that same line, you're probably gonna hit one if you keep shooting in the same area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they got a stealth bomber, and they were so happy because they had a U.S. Imprinted on the wing.
Yeah.
And they were able to, we shot one of the, we shot one of the big ones. We shot one of the ones that's like, we ain't supposed to be able to shoot, right? So they was happy about that, but the story was, how can we get our pilot back to the carrier? And the thing was that his emergency beacon was being tracked by the enemy, and we were able to see that. And it's like, hey, you need to turn off your emergency beacon because you're being tracked. Turn off the emergency beacon. We're gonna have to find you in a search and rescue. So I was on that watch when it happened. I had to leave because I had to go to sleep, right? My watch was over. I went to bed. But in my head, I'm like, oh, no. Did we get the pilot? And I woke up. I came back to watch. I woke up. I hurried up and got dressed. And I came back and said, hey, what's the update? What's the update? Oh, and they started telling me where he had to go. They told him all the information, whatever. He's supposedly going to. This was a 3-day search and rescue mission.
No shit.
Yeah. So they was trying to find the pilot before we did, and we was trying to find the pilot before they did. So it was a race.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So very cool conversation, you can imagine, happening between people who had experience in the military, and that's kind of was like my intro to the group.
And now you're in the club.
Oh, automatically.
But Anthony, are you telling me that to play devil's advocate, I'm sure if you just sat on your couch and played video games, they would have accepted you just the same, right? No, motherfuckers. And again, I have to go back to this, guys. Fellas, are you interesting? You need to experience life. I mean, Jesus Christ, we're hearing about a goddamn stealth fucking aircraft being shot down. These guys at the bar, like, they know about it. You know about it. And if you're a woman at the bar listening, you're probably like, whoa, shit, these motherfuckers are out in the world doing shit. To piggyback on that a little bit, I remember a chick from high school, my very first girlfriend ever in middle school. And in high school, it was like my senior year, her and I kept in touch because we kind of still crushed on each other, but we were dating other people and shit like that. But her and I stayed in touch. And even after high school. And she was like, God damn, Wesley, you went out in the world and did shit. You went in the fucking army, and you went and traveled around, and you did all this. I'm like, you're really doing stuff. And I was like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not just being humble. I really didn't. And I was like, wow, I guess I kind of am out here doing shit. And guys, what we're trying to say with, like, are you interesting? Some of y'all are just chasing pussy 24 fucking hours a day. Every waking moment that you're not at work or doing something very deliberate, you're on fucking Instagram, hitting up them likes. You're swiping on Tinder and Bumble and OkCupid. By the way, I'm not saying stop all that. I'm just saying make time to make yourself interesting. You need to experience life. I was telling Anthony a story about a chick I used to work at a yoga studio once a week. I just did it for free yoga. And it's something I got to experience, Anthony. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I worked there for 3 hours one time a week. And I became cool with all the people at the yoga studio. I would go up there and be cool with all the instructors. I would go to a bunch of classes a week. And it was just for 3 hours of my time a week to just go and mop the floors where they did the hot yoga, because everybody's sweating all over these fucking floors and shit like that. It sounds like grunt work, because it was. But I became like one of the fucking team up there. And the most beautiful girl that worked at the front and was an instructor, just nobody would look at this bitch and not say she was a dime. Nobody. And she came to work one day. She's like, "Oh my God, I got engaged." Everyone was excited for her. She showed me a picture of this dude. And I was like, this motherfucker is the most basic looking motherfucker I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, insanely, like, goofy. Just, I was like, how the fuck did this dude get this chick? And, found out this chick was a big time rock climber. This is a very specific sport, but it's what she was into.
Okay.
And she met this dude because he was a rock climber, and he was very good at it. He was a very good rock climber, and that was her jam. So this bitch was like, "Oh shit, I'm into this. I'm into rock climbing. I want to fucking be with a badass rock climber." There you go. Now these motherfuckers are married.
Man,
He's married to a fucking dime just because he's more interesting. Because he just decided to take up rock climbing, Anthony.
Women love experts. They love a man that can show them something, even if they're good at what they do, even if they have an idea what they're talking about. Because a lot of times, a lot of women don't have an idea what they're talking about. But when they do have an idea what they're talking about, and you can still teach them something. Women flock to those guys all the time. And it doesn't matter what you look like at that point. It doesn't matter what else you bring to the table as far as what you would think women are looking for. You have a sense of hierarchy to them because you know something more about what they're into. So that's what they love about it. And when you can show that in any capacity, women are going to give you more benefit of the doubt in that sense.
Now that we've kind of laid the foundation for this, let's start to get a little bit more advanced for these guys. Do you think you could have met that dime and taken up rock climbing because she likes it? And no, brother, that is already down the road. We talked about this many times with women MMA fighters. There's no one they can date except other fighters.
Yeah.
Everyone else is going to come up weak to them. If you have a very specific hobby like rock climbing, you need a motherfucker that's been rock climbing. You can
Yeah.
Women don't want to be more expert at shit than you are.
Man, this is so fucking important. When we go out and if it's going to the gym, if it's going to art class, like painting class, like it don't matter what the fuck you're doing. You're out and about and a woman sees you being fucking awesome in whatever you're doing. She's going to find you more attractive immediately just because. Not because you bring money to the table, your wallet heavy, your all that other shit become like important to her later, but your introduction to her is easy. Your conversation with her is easy because all you gotta do is talk about what you're fucking doing in the moment.
Wait, Anthony, you're telling me that if you both are rock climbers, you don't have to essentially cold approach this bitch?
Nope.
No, man. You just showed up already interesting.
Man, I say something like this when I DoorDash a little bit. So when the food is already ready before I get there, I was like, it's already ready. So I don't have to worry about waiting to see the perfect moment when the food is done and I'm like, hey, that's my food right there. I don't have to say that. What you don't have to wait for is some kind of fucking choosing signal because you're already in the same vicinity of the interest. So you don't have to talk about nothing than what you're already doing.
Now, Anthony, can you fake interest?
You know, a little bit to an extent. I say
Yeah,
you can
to an extent, but
you
not
can.
really. You
Because
can't spend. You can't just be like, oh shit, Wesley just gave me the fucking cheat code.
No.
All I have to do is do rock climbing for 3 years, and I'm gonna get a fucking dime.
Nah.
That's not how it is, guys. You can't fake passion.
No.
You can't fake passion. But Anthony, we've got the foundation laid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You said something when we were doing the prep for this segment, and you said, guys, you gotta get past the hurt shit first.
Oh, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Anthony, right?
Yeah. Yeah, look.
Before you can participate in anything like we're talking about, you have to get past the hurt shit. I mean, Morgan Freeman probably said it best.
When you first came to us, you were hurt pretty bad.
That's probably why you ended up listening to this program, right?
Yeah, yeah. You came across that one chick or several chicks that put you in a hurt lockup, bruh. That where you was like, something's got to change. I can't live my life the way my life is. And what I got to do, maybe YouTube has it, the answer, because they had an answer for how to fry the perfect shrimp tempura.
And,
so
yeah,
I got to
then-
figure out how to
then you found the red pill phone tap, and
When you first came to us, you were hurt pretty bad.
but at some point, you got to get past it, right?
man, listen, all right, so there's always phases, right? You're going to go through certain phases of life. I like to talk about hitting your bottom and never want to be there again. And you're always going to hit something to where you're just like, you know what? I'm at the point where enough is enough. And now I'm over it. Now I'm not worried about the bottom anymore because I've already done the things I need to do to never see that again.
And specifically the thing that you have to get over, guys. This is what you specifically have to get over. Women are not what you were told they were. And I'm going to repeat that because when I repeat it, I want you guys to really absorb. It's not that women have ever changed, really. They've been this way for a very long time. And then we have certain behaviors that have changed because of social media and the internet and things like that. But really and truly, guys, I'm going to repeat this. You need to get over that women aren't what you were told they were. It doesn't mean they're evil. It just means they're women. What were you saying in the pre-show, Anthony? These women are not your mother.
No.
They're not going to love you for you.
No.
Look in the mirror, though, and ask yourself this question. Should they love you for you? And if your answer is yes, you guys are going to have to get back in the books. You guys are going to have to listen to more episodes of our past podcasts. I don't know what to tell you. Unless it's children or pets.
Because love goes down. It don't go up. Respect goes up.
Right.
Not love.
But except for children and pets, no one in this world gets unconditional love. I'm sorry, fellas. You don't. I mean, so I have a very healthy marriage with a great little girl. But my wife does not get unconditional love from me. Well, Wes, that sounds terrible. Does it? If my wife just goes out and sucks 5 dicks every day, I can't love her no more. This love is conditional.
Yeah.
That we're following some sort of rule set.
Right.
Whatever that rule set is, everybody. You don't get, unless you're a pet or a child, you don't get unconditional love in this world. And I need you guys to absorb that.
Got some guys crying right now.
Yeah. Guys, and if you have a strong relationship with your mother, that's awesome. Cool. Your mom loves you unconditionally because you're her child.
Yeah.
However, the rest of the world don't do that, man.
Nope. not your girl, not.
Stop saying that, everybody. Stop saying unconditional love. Unless
exist.
it's your child.
Well, yeah, that shit go. Like I said, man.
But even if your child became a serial killer, you might stop loving your kid.
Well, yeah,
I mean, even that's kind of conditional.
Yeah, I used to challenge that with women all the time. This unconditional shit, because the shit sounds good for them. They love that.
Oh,
shit.
it sounds like a romantic fairy tale, right?
You remember Charlotte's Web?
Yeah.
When she used to write words on the web and all that shit, they was like, "Oh, this bitch is smart." No, sorry, that's not what it is. This bitch is a whole trap. She likes to trap you, trap your attention, and give her attention. That's how they are raised. This is how they were born with, and it sounds bad to them. They don't want you to tell the raw truth about what women are. They are to attract you, to distract you, right? This is why titties and ass distract you, bruh. This is why they say the nice words, the pretty, and they want to disarm you, right?
Yeah.
So that's their nature. You got to understand that.
But we don't want to dismiss. We don't want to dismiss that.
When you first came to us, you were hurt pretty bad.
We don't want to dismiss that.
No.
But the red pill is supposed to bring you understanding.
Facts.
Not hate, fellas. The red pill was never meant to bring you hate. And then, fuck these hoes. And you don't. We have so many men in the red pill community. And I'm sorry if I'm calling you out, but you finally need to be called out. If this is you, if you're looking in the mirror, this is you. We're not insulting you. We're asking you to evolve. We're asking you to transcend. If you're bragging about how you dissed a chick, you're missing the point of all of our messages. Is that fair, Anthony?
I mean, you've missed the message completely. I don't think neither one of us has advocated any misuse or abuse to a woman. I think if you hear our language and you hear the way we talk about women as far as like, we don't think these bitches are special. It don't mean that we're out here like telling bitches, bitch, you ain't special.
Right. Right.
We're not talking to them that way. We're talking to you because you are treating them special. You are putting them on a pedestal. You are making their head bigger than it need to be to make them think that they don't have to do a goddamn thing for your time, for your attention, for your masculinity, for your presence. You're not giving them anything to earn. They're just giving this shit. And we're talking to you directly, not them. We're trying to get you fixed so you're not out here just like, what can I do for you, ma'am? How can I service you? No, the women are born to service you. Their innate nature is to do for you, but you're not man enough to even allow them to do it because you're serving the role that they should be doing to you.
Okay, I need to unpack a lot of that because a lot just happened with what you were saying.
Sorry, man, you put me on the fucking...
No. I just want to make sure that with all that passion, they're not missing what you're saying because there's so much going on there. You were saying, hey, just because a bitch isn't special. By the way, not everyone's special. Everybody, I need y'all to hear that. Not everybody's special. Okay. And then some people are special to some people and not special to others. For example, if I need you to be a telemarketer, it's not special to me that you know how to fucking work a crate that unloads containers off of ships. for that phone center guy, you're not special to him. As a matter of fact, you're less special because you've never spoke on the phone in your life. Yeah, but I can do this thing where I've unloaded more containers than anybody else. That ain't special here, man. That ain't special here. Just like when women have PhDs, that is special to your employer. It's not special to dudes.
Not the guy you're trying to date.
Not the guy you're trying to date. It's not special to us. It doesn't mean you're not special to somebody. But everybody's also not. Some people are just basic. And you heard it here first, everybody. Basic people are cool too.
Yeah.
What Anthony's trying to point out is that many of you are running in, treating people like they're special that have not proved a goddamn thing to you. Except, they're physically attractive. Want that vagina? Please, bitch, please. Like, I mean, what you were just saying, what you were just saying is very, very important. Just because they're not special to you also doesn't mean that they're shit.
Right.
It doesn't mean, like, bitch, you ain't special. Shut up. Unless they do something where they try to act special and you have to kick them back into play.
Right. That's totally different.
That's totally different.
Yeah.
Than just having a few exchanges and just having that angst of, this bitch thinks she's special, doesn't it? Well, to be fair, I looked at the exchange. I don't think she ever came across that way. By the way, I don't think she's special either. But I don't think it's like something you need to aggressively point out to her so that you can feel better about yourself because you're insulting somebody. That's not what proper gentlemen do around these parts.
No, not at all. Do you think beauty is special?
Yes. Extreme beauty is special. I was just telling you about that Blasian girl that I saw in the gym.
Yeah.
This bitch looked like she could be in movies and shit.
So do you change anything about yourself at that point? Or you're going to...
This is exactly what this segment's about. I have to just trust that I'm interesting. I'm not going to treat her any differently than I'm going to treat anybody else.
Because then you're going to be faking the funk, right? Now you're going to come off as awkward. You're going to come off as what's inauthentic, right?
Yeah.
Now you're trying like that. Try hard, like that's the vibe you're putting off when you make someone more special than just. Because the thing is, to me, is this, man. Do they have a heart? Do they have feet and toes? Right? They're a fucking human.
They're human.
Stop trying to make them more. Just because you have a high interest in them, don't portray that in your conversation. Say hi like they're a regular fucking person. Because they are, motherfucker. Look, just because you like them a lot. Excuse me. Just because you like them a lot doesn't mean that you can't approach them like they're an average chick.
Well, let me tell you this. That's right fundamentally. But I don't want to dismiss what happens in real life too. This bitch has been approached her whole life. That's a factor.
Her
right?
whole life, yes.
Yeah. So she's seen a lot of game. And you do value beauty above. I mean, if you're a man and you're listening, you value beauty above all. And if you don't, you're probably not in touch with who you really are. I mean, beauty to men are very visual creatures. We can't help it. I mean, that's why all these bitches in movies are hot. And that's why women desperately want you to think that Lizzo and Melissa and Melissa McCarthy are the new hot. They're trying to bring that bar way down. I'm just as beautiful as Elizabeth Hurley too. No, you're not, bitch. Elizabeth Hurley is like 60 years old and still looks like she's 25, especially with her body. And it's just like real beauty, like, is something special. It's no different than like how special. I always use Shaquille O'Neal because he's such a special human being when it comes to height and size, and you just don't see a lot of people Shaquille O'Neal's size. He's visually special. I'm not as tall as him. No matter how special I want to be, I'm never going to miracle myself to be as tall and big as Shaquille O'Neal. It's something we can all accept.
So what I'm hearing you say is that it's okay to see someone as special, right?
Yes.
But you shouldn't come out of your natural self introducing yourself to a person who you deem special.
Goes back to that bartender, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All we want that bartender to do is introduce themselves. Most of them can't do it. I don't know why.
Basics.
It's just so easy. Just going up. I mean, guys, most of you should be cold approaching, especially all you cats that don't have a rotation. Y'all should be experts at cold approaching.
Man, you know what?
I mean, Anthony, I'm sorry. This has got to be a tough love segment. If you don't have a rotation, because Kevin Samuels just recently talked about high value men don't do a lot of cold approaching, and then all of a sudden Facebook is blown up with cold approaching is for weak men and blah blah blah. Okay, well listen. Put your seatbelt on, fellas. This is gonna hurt a little bit. Most of you are not high value men. By the way, the person on this microphone speaking right now is not, by Kevin Samuels' definition, a high value man. I'm not. But if you don't have a rotation, you should be cold approaching like a motherfucker, because not only are you not high value, you are weak. So when I see a statement like cold approaching is for weak men, cool. Are you cool with being weak? I mean, first day you go in the gym, you ain't the strongest in the gym, is it, Anthony?
Nah.
I mean, we want to avoid being weak with our knowledge, but also sometimes you have to admit when you don't have a rotation, you're weak. That's weak, and so you got to start somewhere.
I kind of want to.
Hold on, Anthony. I want to get your take on that.
Okay.
So the thing I saw on Facebook today was, if women send choosing signals to alphas. I can't remember the exact quote. So if you're cold approaching, that's weak.
So, all right. So if I was to, like, let's say I know nothing about PUA, right?
Okay.
Let's say I'm just a guy out here, just living my life, whatever, and I just introduce myself to a woman. Is that a cold approach?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're not. All right. So if we can just eliminate the labels and all that shit, right? And you just tell me.
Are we good, Anthony?
Test. So if I'm just introducing myself to someone, that's a cold approach to the PUA people, right? But without that, without the saying the cold approach, if I say I'm introducing myself and I was just talking to the person that's in the vicinity of me, talking about whatever the fuck we're doing or whatever we're watching in our atmosphere, now I'm weak because I introduced myself? Like, that makes no sense at all.
It doesn't. And until you have a rotation, acting like women are just going to come to you and start giving you choosing signals, acting like they're just going to give you choosing signals just because you're so confident in yourself, fellas. This is silly. I mean, some people listen to Kevin Samuels and assume they're a high value man, no matter how specific this motherfucker gets. He's very specific. That's why I say, by Kevin Samuels' definition, I am not a high value man. Now, I also don't communicate like women. This is how women would communicate. They'd say, "Oh, so I'm not high value? So what? I'm low value?" No, that's no.
Yeah.
So what are you saying? If I don't meet these definitions, Kevin Samuels, that means I have no value at all? No, that's not what he said either, motherfucker.
See, that was one of the things about me when I listened to it, and if I've heard it, I've kind of absorbed what was being said, but I never put myself in that category ever anyway.
Yeah.
Right? So I never tried to say that I'm the best of the men that's out here. I never really put myself in that category or even mindset. What I did help myself to was, am I better than who I was? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't like who I was. Can I be better than that dude?
Well,
that's where I put myself at a category. I never put myself as the top of the top, cream of the crop, that type of shit. Because
because that's what he's talking about,
right? When I've been around women, the women that are attracted to me, the women who attention I garner, they're attracted to something about me, not actually because they don't know nothing about me, right? If they're attracted to me, there's something about me that's getting their attention. It ain't my bank account. They don't know nothing about that. It ain't my status in amongst other men and in society. They don't know nothing about that, right? It's an energy that I'm providing.
Well, it probably goes right along with this segment. It's probably because they find you interesting.
Exactly.
Now, and for people that don't listen to Kevin Samuels, let me be specific. If I can remember all of this, what he says a high value man is they make $10,000 or more a month consistently for 3 years. They're LinkedIn level. That means when you go to LinkedIn, they have a job that everyone goes, oh, I understand that job. They're not like an entrepreneur, just a random, I'm an entrepreneur. Well, we don't know what the fuck you do.
Entrepreneur is a term for I'm not an owner yet.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be.
I want to be an owner. I want to be a boss.
I'm making my own money, but it's not ownership level yet.
Yeah, and he says he hangs out with other high value men, and it's just like, dude, I don't. And he may say a few more other things, but I'm like, I already don't qualify. I'm good.
But yeah, I don't.
I'm good. Like,
I don't think
I don't feel like I need to be celebrated for existing. It doesn't change the fact that I know a lot about this shit. It doesn't. It also doesn't change that, like, I'm good at this shit. I don't feel insulted in any way, shape, or form. We just have to. If humans, guys, are categorized. So if you think that, like, you can just that you can tell that really stuck with me when I saw it on Facebook. That cold approaching is weak. I'm like, motherfucker, you're telling these guys, like, where the fuck do guys that are just, like, graduating high school or graduating college, where the fuck do they start? They're just supposed to sit there at the bar with their arms crossed, waiting on women to approach them. And if they don't do that, they're super weak. That doesn't make any goddamn sense, man.
They're sitting at the bar like, bitch, choose.
Oh, Jesus, you sniped me with that one. Bitch, choose. They come over. They come over and they're like, hey, what's going on? And they go, this motherfucker goes, Mortal Kombat. That was pathetic. God damn. Like sitting over there like the Terminator and shit with sunglasses on in the bar. You are misleading these young guns, man. Going and cold approaching bitches, if you don't have a rotation, this should be something you're doing all the time. But it's a lot easier to cold approach bitches when you're doing shit and experiencing life that makes you more interesting.
I hate that the word cold approach exists. And the reason I say that is because now men have a reason to be afraid of it. Instead of just saying, hey, go introduce yourself.
I don't hate your take on that.
Because that's cold approaching. You know what I'm saying? Just saying, hey, I noticed you were doing this exercise. What are you actually trying to do? Because it seems like you're doing it wrong. I want to show you what I do to make sure, and I'm going to show you a result. And see how it feels. Let's try it this way. That's just conversation, man. If you're just, hey, I'm introducing conversation to someone I never met before. That's cold approach.
Yeah.
And then and what's wrong with saying, hey, I'm just generating conversation with someone I never had conversation with? That's easy to do without making it a something that you got to get better at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're just like, oh, I got to get better at this cold approach stuff, dude. Like, I don't really know what to say to her. And, well, motherfucker, guess what? You don't know what to say to her because you ain't doing nothing. You ain't got nothing going on with your life. You ain't doing shit but staying at home. When you actually do go out and you see somebody cute, you don't know what to do or say because you ain't doing shit. You just came across somebody that you were interested in, but you're not interesting enough to even have a conversation with her. So to say, hey, that's a cool shirt. I like that shirt. That's a good color. What do you call that color? It looks something. It's not actually orange. Is it what burnt? Is it? You know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
But,
It's
but hold
real
on,
fucking-
Anthony. Hold on. I mean, when you go do shit like that, though, and I need our new guys to listen to this part. When you do shit like that, you're not like trying to learn the cheat code. If you go ask a bitch about her clothes, it's typically because you genuinely have a question about her clothes.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going in going, okay, bottom of the ninth. 0-2 pitch. Here we go. You're not like, this is that results-oriented dating that we were talking about, right?
I'm gonna pause you real quick though, because if that bitch was ugly, I don't give a fuck what color that shirt is.
Well, good point. Good point. But I mean, this is why they don't have ugly bitches model shit,
Right.
in catalogs and shit. But I digress. I mean, it's one of those things where you have to be able to talk to bitches, kind of like how you talk to dudes,
Yeah.
where you don't have to be like, I don't know. I feel like me and Anthony we had a pretty good podcast there. Anthony, you want to be my friend? Damn it! I wasn't able to get him as my friend. Shit! And you're like, no, dude. Sometimes you just got to be able to be interesting first. What this whole segment's about, but you have to be able to talk to people without wanting to get something out of it. If you're like, hey, bitch, where'd you get that shirt? Cool shirt. You still look like your breath stink though. You know what I'm
Or
saying?
your breath do stink. Or your
Yeah.
breath do stink, and it's like, oh, bitch, don't take care of her.
By the way, this is all kidding. You new guys, do not try this. You're not skilled enough. I know Anthony can pull that off. But what I'm trying to say is you have to be able to just constantly be talking to people, not getting results, and just say, cool, I'm still getting something out of this. I'm becoming more worldly. I'm becoming more interesting. Like you said, are you just sitting at home on the couch every day expecting to be interesting? Man, I was about to bring up someone that sits on their patio, but I'm not going to do that.
I was talking to a female who was saying that she can't get a man, right? And yes, we coach women too. So I was talking to her and I was like, listen, a guy's never gonna go, hey, I'm here, I'm your man. No guy is doing that. No one's coming to your door to do that. And even if that happened to you, you're so afraid of getting out that you won't even fucking answer the door anyway. So even if it happened to you, you still wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen for you. So, ladies, get outside of your comfort zone, and you do everything that you do to get what you want. Right? You when you got your degree, you did the research for the school that you wanted to go to, for the specific job you wanted, for the specific car that you wanted, for the house that you wanted. You did your research. You did your legwork. But when it comes to being in a relationship with a man for the rest of your life, how much time and effort are you putting into that? Oh, none. And so you have zero results and you don't know why. You don't know why. But that's what you want. But you've done all this legwork for other shit that you want, and you've able to achieve it. And you said, look at what I've got. And then when you comes to something as simple as meeting someone new, you don't know how to do it all of a sudden? It's hard. Get your ass outside the house.
Well, maybe what I'll do, Anthony, is I'll trick them. I'll make the woman think that I'm not interested in her vagina. And I'll be different.
No, that's not
And
different.
no, that doesn't work. Damn
No.
it. Damn it. No, guys.
That's been tried before, trust me.
It's that is basically the blue pill marching
is
orders
all
right there,
they
isn't it?
tried.
Hey, I'm different than the other guys. I
I
don't
don't
like putting my penises in women's vaginas. Look, I need to know her as a person first. No, guys. Every woman knows, hey, this dude wants to fuck me.
Every woman.
So
every
time-
woman.
So let's just go ahead and rip that Band-Aid off. Get in there, get experience. Now, Anthony, we were talking about this in the pre-show. To be interesting, you gotta experience life.
Yes.
You gotta experience life. And then you pointed out, random awesomeness happens when you're just out living your life. Now, you pointed out, all the threesomes you've ever had in your life were like nowhere planned. They completely randomly happened while you were out doing awesome shit.
Yep.
Talk about that a little bit, Anthony. If you're just constantly out doing cool shit happens, doesn't it?
Yeah. So the thing is, man, and it don't have to even be awesome shit that you're doing for awesome shit to happen to you. You could be doing something that you just love to fucking do. And
like maybe rock climbing?
Exactly. In the beginning of the show, we talked about that. And the threesomes that happened for me never was something that I was like, I'm getting a threesome today. I never woke up.
I'm going to do this shit.
Yeah. I never woke up with, today feels like a threesome. Yeah. Menage a trois is in the air. I never had that going for me. But when it did happen, I was open to it because the energy that I was providing and that what was being reciprocated to me allowed it to happen. And if you're at home, ain't no threesomes happening at home.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Unless you're just the person who everybody comes to party at your house, and the threesomes can happen there. But you got to be interested enough for people to want to come over. You can't be some fucking creep and people want to come over your house because you're fucking creepy. You got to know how to engage people, how to engage different types of people, how to engage both sexes. Wesley, if you're only out here looking for women, you never even talk to men, how can you engage other men? How would you even be able to relate and approach a group of men and women at the same time?
They had a threesome.
Yeah, I'm still back on the threesome. Anyways, no, I mean seriously, if you only talk to women, you would start to become a very effeminate man. You stay masculine by visiting with lots of other men. And being masculine is what women are truly looking for, unless they're narcissists that just want to boss men around, which those aren't the women you want to date anyway. But I'm here to tell you, I don't want to gloss over that random awesomeness happens when you're out just living your life. I mean, you just hit the nail on the head. You're like, I didn't wake up every time I had a threesome like, you know what? I want a fucking threesome. I'm going to fucking will this into existence today, brother. I'm going to do this shit. It's like, dude, sometimes you just have to be like, today, I'm just going to do dope shit because I like to do dope shit. Let's go. Whatever it is. I mean, you just told a story at the beginning of the program. You're like, I went to a bar, didn't feel it. First time I went. Second time I went, I was like, I'm going to give it another try. Ended up meeting up with 3 Navy guys. Y'all are talking about real deal shit about saving a fucking pilot's life and shit. I can only imagine the next time you go to this pub, you're just looked at as like the interesting fucking guy.
Right.
Because, I mean, you could have done what a lot of people did after high school. Not jack shit. But you went to the fucking U.S. Navy. And I love hearing your great Navy stories, but you've told me a lot of bad ones too. It wasn't just all sunshines and rainbows over in the U.S. Navy. But it's one of those things where sometimes even when you're doing shit that you don't like, it makes you more interesting.
Yeah.
Right? It's just one of those things where a lot of you guys thought the cheat code was, wait a second, women don't just love you for you? Fucking bitches! Go! These dumb hoes! No, guys. Women are just women. But it's up to you to make yourself more valuable, to make yourself more interesting. I mean, you and I just heard, everybody here heard you and I, Anthony, say we don't categorize ourselves as high-value men the way Kevin Samuels does. Doesn't mean I'm not interesting. I've done a lot of cool shit in my life.
Do you think you can cheat code your way to listening to other people be interesting and never do anything yourself? Because like I get a lot of times people who consume red pill content, manosphere content, all this shit of how to be a better man. You think you can cheat code your way?
Hey, I can go more worldly than that, brother. We just celebrated Juneteenth recently, where there was a lot of people that had to get physically involved in a civil rights movement, right? And there was a lot of like getting out of your comfort zone. Like you said, get out of your living room, get out there in the world and make a change. And they did. And it was fucking amazing. And we still celebrate it today. Every June of every year, we still celebrate it. But then there's people today that want to mimic that because they did, and I'm just using an example here, and no offense to anybody that did this, but they want to do the ice bucket challenge. That's not the same thing as like when we're celebrating Juneteenth, man. I mean, they're talking about people that got out of their living room and marched on Washington and did, I mean, that's just one of the things, but one of the things we celebrate is people got out of their living rooms and they did shit. They got out of their house. They didn't just sit there on their phone and do an ice bucket challenge or canceled someone on Twitter. Yeah, we did it. That was one for the cause. Or we liked someone's post on Facebook, or we posted something very angry on Facebook about something. That's not doing shit, man. That's stealing all the thunder from people that are actually doing shit, in my opinion. So that's not just guys, and that's just not just guys. That's guys and girls. You know what I mean? Where we kind of live in a society now where people really aren't doing shit to be interesting, and they're kind of trying to steal that fire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty crazy. Because to me, until we start making some changes, until we recognize that just piggybacking on a bunch of Hollywood bullshit and hitting some likes and doing some ice bucket challenges and things like that, until you get out and live in the world, none of that shit is going to be things that they talk about at your funeral. Because we all die, right? Eventually. What are they going to say at your funeral? That you did an ice bucket challenge with millions of other people? And great that raised awareness. But when you compare it to something like Juneteenth, Anthony, those are admirable, interesting, worldly people that did some real shit, right?
I'll say, no matter what you do, as far as even if you think it's not interesting, right? Let's say you're the best Dungeons and Dragons card player in your circle.
This is a good example because I'm going to give you my honest opinion. I'm listening open-minded. So go ahead. This is a good example because it sounds like before you tell me this story, I'm already picturing I'm probably going to hang out with like 4 people. It's 100% going to be indoors.
Yep. Yeah.
Keep going. So Dungeons and Dragons.
You're the best Dungeons and Dragons player. The thing about Dungeons and Dragons, as far as like on the upper level, there's a lot of like there's the game warden who's in charge of the rules and making sure that, you know, certain cards play certain ways, and there's so many levels you can go to this bullshit. But you can tell I'm not that advocate of it. But I'm saying, if that's you, if that's what you do,
all right, I'm listening. I'm still listening.
When you talk to a woman who has any kind of Dungeons and Dragons information as far as in her lifestyle, and you talk passionately about Dungeons and Dragons and what you do and how you became a fucking master Dungeons and Dragons player, she will listen and hear you out and look at you a little different than she would a guy who don't have a Dungeons and Dragons conversation to bring.
I'm going to push back on this one. I'm going to push back.
Listen, let me finish my story.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
And I choose I chose something that I know Wesley don't fuck with, right? Wesley don't fuck with Dungeons and Dragons and cards and shit and board games and shit like that in his spare time. That's not what he's pulling out of his fucking closet to fucking spend his time with. But if that's who you are, you're that guy, right? But the reason, the only way you can meet a woman that has this is that you went outside your little fucking circle of friends that who y'all play Dungeons and Dragons with. Let's say you went on a Dungeons and Dragon tournament in California, away from Houston. You go to California, and now you go on a Dungeons and Dragon tournament, and you meet other Dungeons and Dragons players, and you get to have these conversations with them. So this is where you get to shine, even if it's something that most of Americans don't fuck with. You're going to find somebody to show your expertise in. I know Wesley want to shit on it because he's like, ain't no bitch giving you no pussy for no Dungeons and Dragons. But there are some Dungeons and Dragons women out there that give a fuck about this. That's all I'm saying. You just got to put yourself out there in a position of doing it, not just at home in your basement, in your homies, in your homeboys, at your homeboy's mama's basement. Y'all can't just do that and expect to have any semblance of interest beyond your circle. You have to go outside of your fucking comfort and you're outside your homes.
And you just passionately explain to them.
I'm a nerd who is deeply in love with you.
That's what you do. Now, see, my pushback to that is this. My pushback to that is I feel like the bar is like the court of public opinion. When you were at the bar talking about saving a downed stealth pilot,
okay,
that's interesting. Try running some Dungeons and Dragons game through the fucking through the pub.
I'll say this, Wesley, to hit the ball back to you.
Okay.
I'm gonna put the ball back into your court. Motherfuckers who play Dungeons and Dragons usually ain't drinking anyway, or going to bars.
Okay. I just think you're saying something very niche.
Yes, I am, because
but so's rock climbing, right?
Yes.
I mean maybe, yeah.
Have you rock climbed before?
No.
Me either. I ain't even done it in the fucking gym. Even when I seen it available to do, I said I ain't get my ass up there. I've never done that. I saw it and I was like, okay, I got that shit. But I ain't doing it. I was a member at Lifetime Fitness when they had rock climbing up it ain't that high. It was like maybe 40, 50 feet high. I still wouldn't get my ass up there. I was like, oh, I need a harness to fuck with that? Oh, no, I'm good. I'm going to play basketball. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I wasn't interested in that. But guess what? There's people interested in it. Just because I'm not don't mean that other people aren't.
Now, when you tell a bitch that you play basketball, is it the same thing as saying like,
I'm a nerd who is deeply in love with you?
No. Is that kind of the same?
No. But nerds, but guess what? Have you ever seen Revenge of the Nerds?
Yeah, a very good movie.
They got pussy too, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. I just but I would argue that they did interesting shit too, like with computers.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't appreciated at the time, this became all the tech that we currently enjoy.
Nerds are the ones who get all the pussy in the
I
end.
just feel like the Dungeons and Dragons nerds get stuck.
Nah,
those are the ones I feel like they get stuck, man.
I'm gonna tell you, man. I was on TikTok and I seen a lot of fucking sexy gamer chicks that's like really into gaming.
All right, can we go sidebar into this? Because I don't know if those bitches are real gamers.
No, when I say gamer chicks, man, literally they're on the controller and they're playing the game and they're showing.
And you can see that they're good?
They're good.
Okay. Like good or like good for a chick?
I mean, if you're good, you're good. I mean, good for a chick. I don't really say,
I'm just saying, would like the worst dudes wreck these bitches?
I wouldn't. I mean, I don't play games like that on an expert level like that to be a gamer. I like games. I play them, but I'm not like high level. I beat games in the same day type of gamer.
Now, and again, talk about being interesting. So my brother is he used to run a show on the internet of him gaming.
Yeah, I remember that.
My brother has told on Twitch. My brother has told me, he was like, you know what? I wish I was just really, really bad at video games instead of being like great enough to almost be pro, but not quite.
Yeah.
He's like on the cusp of like being pro, so he's not fun to play with. Like any novice person like me.
Yeah, I want to play with.
It's just like, oh my fucking God, fucking forget it. This damn it. But he's still just not
good enough.
Yeah, he's like, he plays for like the Sugarland Skeeters.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He gets the call. I mean, by the way, he's been invited to pro tournaments and played in them and things like that. So every once in a while, he gets called up to the majors.
Yeah.
But then they're like, okay, cool, we're good.
Yeah.
Go back down to the Skeeters. But, I mean, he's like, man, it's almost torturous that I'm just not good enough to be interesting.
Damn.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Damn.
He's a very interesting person. But, okay.
Just because you got invited to a tournament makes you interesting enough.
Oh, I think so too. But here's my pushback with the Dungeons and Dragons folks. They tend to get into a cringy uncool. My brother is a good example of like, he's almost pro level gamer, especially in first person shooters. He's almost pro level. But bitches look at my brother's Instagram account, and I know the thing that stands out is this dude loves hiking, and he goes to drives and flies to places, and he's always hiking in these spots. I don't know, man. That is interesting to like everybody. With the Dungeons and Dragons stuff, I get it. I get what you're saying. It's cool when bitches see you're passionate about something. But at the end of the day, if only like 1 out of like 50,000 people think that's interesting versus nature, everyone thinks that shit's cool. My brother's got different shit that he's interesting about. So if you hike and you go to, Yosemite National Park and hike and you play Dungeons and Dragons, cool. These Dungeons and Dragons peeps, though, they tend to get a little stuck, and it takes up a lot of their fucking time. Video gamers as well. My brother is different that way. He's got different shit that makes him interesting. But a lot of video gamers, this is like, that takes up 11 hours of every single fucking day.
Yeah. This goes into what we were talking about in the pre-show. You have to be multifaceted.
Yeah.
How many sides do you have?
Oh, man. Will you tell this story, Anthony? Yeah, because this all happened on a date you were on.
Yeah. So, on the date, chick was like, man, I feel like I've gone out with 3 different Anthonys. And because it's not a diss to you, it's just that, and I'm not angry with it, it's just that you have so many different things that you're into. Like,
got podcast Anthony, we got Navy Anthony, we got loves to cook and is like chef level cooking Anthony. What the hell, man? This dude's all over the place, but not in a bad way.
Right. Like, there's things that I can do. I can talk about politics. I can talk about up-to-date world events. I can talk about relationships. I can talk about fucking gardening. I can talk about fixing a shoe. Like, there's more things to me than just Dungeons and Dragons. Let's say that. Because
organically, we're kind of figuring it out together, right? It's like, you're not interesting if you're only into one fucking thing.
You can't be a circle. You can't be left turn. Left turn. What we gonna do?
Man, will you leave these NASCAR fans alone, Anthony? Leave these NASCAR fans alone.
Listen, that ain't my fault. That ain't my fault that circles are boring. My thing is, if you can be trapezoid, right? Or octagon. You have different things that you can point out and single out and bring to up the upfront and show expertise in. Me and you both like bourbon, right?
Right.
Me and you can probably have interesting bourbon conversations at a bar.
We have a lot of them. We do.
So if we go to the bar and every time we go to the bar and we talk about bourbon, you think those people want to listen to our bourbon stories every time we fucking go to this bar?
No.
They want to probably hear you talking about something else. We've gone to the bar and in a recent bar adventure we had, we was talking about bourbon at first. Then we started talking about women and relationships. Then we started talking about business, how to actually have a great business, and our podcasting. We started talking about. We had 4 different topics, and we were able to be an expert in conversation in all of them. That's showing how multifaceted you can be, making you more interesting, and making you somebody that somebody want to actually listen to, and say, hey, even if you don't know, have you ever met somebody so interesting that even if they don't know about something that you're asking about, it would be interesting to hear their opinion?
Yeah, and they'd just be like,
Great, you're interesting. Follow me, please.
yeah,
Exactly.
100. Just follow me, please.
So it's so easy to be different because all you have to do is hone into the things you like to do. We're not asking you to go out and be like, oh, man, I don't drink alcohol, and these guys said bourbon is interesting to talk about. I guess I got to go find some bourbon to drink and try to figure out the history of bourbon.
No, I'm not doing that, man. Wesley said rock climbing's where the dimes is at.
Oh, okay. So I got to go fucking find motherfuckers. Hey, motherfuckers outside right now collecting rocks. Talking about what's the best grip?
Oh, my God. I'm just going to climb this tree till I can get out to a rock. But I think organically we kind of figured out, like, using the Dungeons and Dragons example, using the Dungeons and Dragons example, are you, Anthony sending me some text of, someone sending him some text that says, I want you. I won't mention the name. I almost mentioned the name.
No, don't mention the name.
But now, is that the same girl that you were on the date with?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. She just sent a random text to Anthony. I want you.
This is the thing.
What was the second text?
Go ahead.
I want you. And I just want you to know, I keep having flashbacks of you kissing and rubbing on me. I'm starting to think, Anthony, she might find you interesting.
I think so.
But before we, like, as we wrap this up, interesting, guys, and being worldly and being like James Bond is you're not just focusing all your energy on Dungeons and Dragons or rock climbing or bourbon, or, I mean, that's where you get stuck. Because if the woman feels like she's been on a date with 3 different dudes, this is what we're trying to get you guys to do.
Is she going to cheat on you if she feels like she can get multiple dudes in one?
That's a good point. I didn't even think of it like that. But it's like, she's always like, oh, you know about this shit? You know about that shit? Oh, my God. I mean, my wife and I's first date, she was like, oh, you know about fighting. I've wanted to know about fighting. And by the way, guys, that's not going to work on a lot of women. That's a specific situation.
Yeah.
However, if we weren't going to talk about fighting, I could have pivoted to something else.
Yeah, easily, right?
Yeah, easily. Hey, do you know about, with cooking, I used to be a kitchen manager. Do you know about cooking? Oh, you're not into cooking. What's up with these Kardashian bitches? I know all about them. No, I don't. I'm just kidding. But I mean, I know about man shit. She knows about woman shit. But if I know about a bunch of different man shit, that makes me interesting, and it's shit that women probably don't know about. That's the whole... We need to do a segment on this, by the way. the whole thing about sexual polarity is when a man's with a woman, he gets something that he doesn't have himself. When a woman's with a man, she gets something that she doesn't have in herself, and that's what sexual polarity is. It's not, as Anthony was saying earlier, let me find out what this bitch wants. Let me find out what this bitch likes. And I'm just going to chameleon myself into some pussy. That's not how the fucking way that being interesting works. So guys, if your main interest is Dungeons and Dragons, cool. Don't give up your Dungeons and Dragons. But start to do some more shit. Get off the couch. Get out there. Because you don't ever know when rock climbing turns into, oh shit, I got a goddamn dime on my hands. Be interesting.
Motherfucker.
If there was any doubt that this is not cool for children, Anthony made sure everyone knew. The Red Pill Phone Tap appreciates you for making us part of your day. We're sorry that we've been away for so long. We have some great segments coming up for you guys. Anthony has moved to the top of his building. All your things are there, right? Nothing else to move?
Nothing else to move.
So we're going to have a lot more time on our hands. I will be starting school in August. However, as Anthony and I were saying earlier, sometimes when you got more shit to do, for some reason you get more shit done.
Yeah.
So we are recommitting to you guys here at the Red Pill Phone Tap. Thank you for being patient with us. And we will see you guys again really, really soon. Until that time,
peace.